Editing footage is nothing new for these video production students, but when the footage comes from space, well, that's taking things to new heights.
We have liftoff.
As part of a class project, these grade 9 students from Dr. Knox Middle School launched a weather balloon into space. They mounted cameras onto it, and what they got can probably be best described as out of this world.
It just was so spectacular to see your region from varying altitudes.
The balloon reached a maximum height of 95,000 feet, but preparing it for flight involved a lot of logistics.
We had to mount 3 GoPro cameras on that framework and also make the framework protected against impact, so we covered it in foam that would also help it to float. We had to mount a weather computer, we had to mount a GPS on it so that we could find it when it was on the ground. And we had to incorporate a radar transponder that would communicate directly with aircraft so that the balloon didn't get into anyone's flight path.
And while it didn't get into anyone's flight path, it did make its way across the border, something they didn't expect. They used an online simulator with real-time weather to predict where it was going to land, and according to that, it was predicted to land near Caramios.
The winds were picking up, so we were quite surprised when we were in communication with the air traffic control tower in Vancouver when they said that the winds are now up to 100 kilometers an hour in that area and you're probably going over the border. So it ended up landing in northern Washington, which didn't turn out to be a big issue, but we were concerned about how that would affect American authorities.
And while Bruce and a fellow teacher didn't encounter any issues going across the border, retrieving the footage was another matter.
Retrieving the space balloon this time was a big physical challenge. We had to do a 3-day expedition to bring that back. The first day was 10 hours of snowshoeing. Then we had to build a base camp, and then a 12-hour round trip to climb the mountain and come back, snowshoeing and hiking, and then 10 hours to come out. So it was 32 hours of exercise in 3 days.
And for the students, they got to go where not a lot of students have gone before.
It's something I've never got the opportunity to do before. I've worked on other projects, but I've never had the opportunity to work on something so big that so many people get to see.
I just like to see the different aerial footage. I have my own aerial photography units, so it's fun to see a balloon.
It was amazing to me and everybody really loved it.
In Kelowna, for Go Okanagan, I'm Marianne Okel.